We're about to get into it. Hold on a second. We're about to get into it. Hold on a second. About to get into it. Hold on a second. About to get into it. All right, here we go. Doing something a little different. Very, very different. So, y'all let me know how you like it. Today's conversation, today's show, it's going to be a little different. I think I have figured out why there are so many people who are employed but have 2 and 3 jobs. It's been a minute since I have been part of doing my research on Uber and all these other companies, right? I was listening to a podcast today. Uber has a market cap of 80 billion and around 12,000 employees. Now, that's impressive, right? But GMC, I guess Jeep, Chevy, all the American car makers combined have a market cap of 50 billion, with almost what, 200,000 employees. I don't know the correct number. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, it's happened. What we're experiencing is people are going to start separating into a permanent underclass. This is why your job is never going to pay enough in the math of the new economy. What is happening is people, because let's just take the average gig economy, sharing economy person. They're a person with some college or actually a degree. Now, this is somewhat like the stock market. Let's say the top 10% of all colleges, actually, that's not even true. The top 10% of the elite colleges, these people have nothing to worry about. They're going to leave college and roll into a six-figure job. They keep their skills up. They keep their connections up. They're going to be good. Many of these people who left these top schools like MIT with a dual electrical engineering degree, went to work for Amazon maybe 6, 7, 10 years ago. They're millionaires today because part of the compensation package is stock. And you see this over and over again. The top 10% in the of people who are in the stock market make 90% of the gains. The top 10% who graduate college, they don't have to look for a job finds them. And you keep seeing this over and over and over again in every demographic, in every category, in every business sector. You see it over and over again. And we're now at the juncture of a permanent underclass. But see, when I say that, it's like a misnomer, because people in the permanent underclass will be doing somewhat okay. They'll have a car, they'll have a television, they'll live in a decent place, but they'll never have financial freedom. They will never know what it's like to take a year or two off and do whatever the hell you want to without financial penalty. You could do that, but the penalty could be you can miss work. The penalty could be you can miss a career track. So they will not be able to do the things that make money. You know my story. How did I crack the code, so to speak? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to spill the beans. Hold on a second. Make sure that I get this all nice and lovely, because I'm going to spell it out for you, because if you want to start a business, you need to begin working on that today. Now, what does that look like? You start a business today. It may take you 2 or 3 years to get it where you want it to be, where you could get out the game, right? Well, if you don't start that, this is what you're looking at. I'm gonna just do it like this. Got the underclass, and what that means is the social you are born in, you will stay, or go down. This is what's happening. You're having the kids of middle class parents, sometimes wealthy parents, and once the parents are out the picture or the parents are too old to manage stuff, these kids, even though they have an inheritance, they will either stay where they are or they will go down. Now, I'm going to tell you how I know this. In my neighborhood, I live in a pretty wealthy neighborhood, and I don't say that to impress you or get cookies or cool points, but it is what it is. All right, there we go. There is a group of people in this neighborhood who inherited their house from their parents. Maybe the second, third, or fourth generations living in that house. And on Nextdoor.com, they're screaming. It's like, we can't afford the taxes. So what's happening is they're being pushed out. Now, these are what you would consider middle class people. They have a very nice house in a prestigious neighborhood, but due to the high property taxes, due to the upkeep of the house, they are falling behind. Now, I know there are many of you who are going, so I'm not going to cry over some well-to-do or rich person coming down a few pegs. I think with that line of thought, you are missing some stuff. If that's happening to them, what do you think is happening to everyone that is under them? I want you to really think about that. These folks, someone left them a house, it's paid for, and because of exploding property values in a certain sector of town, they're being pushed out. This syndrome is going to cascade like water down the waterfall. It's going to cascade to all of the social economic classes below them. Right before our eyes, we're having a caste system. Someone asked me, what's a caste system? Well, let me show you. I'm going to give you the definition of a caste system. All right. Let's go in here. All right. The caste system divides Hindus into four main categories. Now, we talk about this in India, right? And you can't get away from India because it's so deeply entrenched in who they are. Here we go. Caste is a form of social stratification categorized by, I don't even know what that means. Endogamy, hereditary transition of lifestyle, which often includes an occupation, status in a hierarchy, customary social interactions, and exclusion. Although caste systems exist in various regions. So let's see. Since I don't know what this word is, it's always good to learn new words. Well, essentially, what you're born into is what you will die. Oh, the custom of marrying only within the limits of a local community, clan, or tribe. With a caste system, you can only marry someone that is in your caste. Now, that seems kind of horrible and insidious, right? Well, it's something we practice here in America. Hood chicks usually marry hood dudes. Preppy chicks usually marry preppy dudes. And now, well-to-do rich people marry well-to-do rich people. But see, there was some cross-pollination. There was the ability to come out of that caste system. Like me. I was born. It's a weird situation. I was born rich poor. That's the only way I can identify it. We didn't have money for indoor plumbing, but my grandmother was a teacher. She had a college degree. And many other folks lived the same way, so it wasn't unremarkable. But I learned to read before I went to school. This is very, very important. If you have kids, make sure that they know how to read before they go to school. You could literally be giving them a gift of a lifetime. So I had financially a poor lifestyle, but from a character standpoint, from an education standpoint, I had an upper middle class upbringing. It was a weird segmentation because I was like, why am I so different than the other two? who did not have that type of upbringing. Now, one of the things that's happening is, and I'm going to get to what's going on with these jobs. Make sure that I close some of these pages. Okay. Amazon just launched this independent contractor deal where you can, for $10,000, you can have your own business, right? I never really talked about it because it just seemed, just from the beginning, that it was a gank. Now, if you compare and contrast that to the FedEx contractor program, the FedEx contractor program is so lucrative that whenever someone retires or loses their route, they have a waiting list. I know a guy, he has 5 trucks, 5 semis. He doesn't do local delivery. He has just 5 semis. He's a contractor. He's been a contractor for FedEx for many years. Dude does about $3.8 million a year with those 5 trucks. Now the Amazon has jumped in the game. Everyone else is going to follow suit. And it's going to be very, very hard, unless you work with a company that just cares about people, to make that kind of money as an independent contractor, because Amazon is like the heavy, that guy that comes in and breaks kneecaps. So Amazon and Walmart, from a policy standpoint, are very, very similar. So what's happening is all of these steps, from being poor, being uneducated, and I'm going to talk about that education thing in a minute, these steps are starting to disappear. I don't think y'all really understand. These steps are starting to disappear. Because right now Trump's talking about that, this is the greatest America's ever been. I would vigorously disagree. The greatest America's ever been was the period after World War II, right up until the 80s. This 40-year massive expansion of the middle class. Now, why did that happen? Because if you wanted a job, you could find one. You could work at a gas station. You could work in the if you weren't working, it was because you didn't want to. Even with segregation and Jim Crow, black men were able to find more jobs during that time period than today. And when I say jobs, I mean jobs actually paid enough money where a man could go out and work and literally support a household. So that was the greatest economic period in America. 40 years of a booming, spreading middle class. And then out of the middle class, you had upper middle class, and then a little small segment out of that, they became rich. That was hands down. Look it up. That's why we call it the greatest generation. A lot of these people who went to fight came back. They did many things. They took advantage of the GI Bill. They got these mortgages. They literally built America. Now, what's happening is all of those steps and portals where you can jump through and increase your class, they're getting very small. They're getting very challenged. Now, let's talk about education. Right now, we have scores of people walking around with 4-year degrees, earn 3.9s. They're waiting tables. They're waiting tables. They're working at Starbucks. They're driving for Uber, and they're delivering for Amazon Flex. These highly educated people, this is what they're doing. And when I saw what Uber did you know that Uber has 2.5 million driver partners around the world? If that ain't pimping, I don't know what is. You use your car, the maintenance on you, everything's on you, and they make a nice chunk of change. 2.5 million driver partners? And see, this is why I say that a lot of these opportunities are disappearing, because what's happening is if you are not a part of tech If you're not a knowledge type worker, you can't write code, you can't start a YouTube channel, you can't do Facebook, you can't be an entrepreneur. It is going to be so hard to go from I am Sam, I am just a janitor, go to school at night, get a job, and then, 10 years later, 15 years later, Sam's a VP of the corporation. That journey, that path is disappearing. And you want to know who's doing it? Oh, man, I got some game for y'all. You know who's doing it? People like me. And let me explain. All right. So remember the 9.9%? We are a buffer zone. For the rich. And this is people with 1.5 up to 5 mil. And this is how we do it. Like right now, I'm out looking for a house. And I'm not looking for a regular house. I'm looking for price range is going to be $750,000 to $1 million. And I'm looking for this property to buy it, fix it up, and flip it. And this is how I know what's happening with the neighborhood, because all these folks around here who have these ranches that was left to them by mom and dad, they gotta go. The property taxes are like $7,000 to $12,000. That's like rent on an apartment on a house that you already own. So what's happening is all of the rich people are concentrating in all of these clusters. This is the 9.9%. And we are this big buffer zone for the 0.5%. This is the people with net worths of 25 million up to a few billion. That's that group. And what we're doing is we're taking our tax money and we're taking it away from the rest of the county, and we're concentrating it on what? Our children. And this is the thing. What's happening is so insidious that you can't see what is happening because you're doing the wrong thing for the right reasons. You want your kids to have the best opportunities. So these kids of the 9.9%, remember the 10% of college, the 10% of investors, you keep seeing this number over and over and over again. The 9.9% are the work dogs, the workhorses for the rich. I should say richer. So this is what's going on. And I keep saying, you need to start a business now. You need to start a business now. And a lot of y'all are not hearing me because you're too comfortable right now. You got a job, you make a 75, 80, shoot, some of you are making $300K a year. You are fat, happy, and comfortable. And I hope you keep your lifestyle. I hope nothing happens to you. But I fear that this is going to change. And this is going to change because we have this thing called technology. Virtually every type of job is going to be touched, harmed, or shaped up by technology. So right now you got that $300K a year job because you have special knowledge. 5 years now, somebody's going to make an app that's going to do your job better than you, and you're going to be out of a job. The only way that you are not going to be impacted adversely if you are one of the bosses. That's the only way I see out of this. I'm not just saying this. This is what I feel. Get it? This is what I feel. Now, actually, this is backed up by a lot of research. Because when I noticed on Nextdoor how many people started to scream. Also, The recession has hit retail. Now it's hitting California real estate. That's usually where it starts. Because, see, when the well-to-do areas start going down, it's only a matter of time for the rest of the country goes down. So, once again, I'm still on my 10 to 12 month. I was saying 12 to 20, so we could crank that down. We could say 10 to 18 months. This thing is going to roll out. And if you are not trying to start a business, and once again, I ain't gonna mess with you. I ain't gonna say nothing to you. I wish you well. But for everybody that needs to start establishing something, and also if you're gonna establish something, do it for your kids if you ain't gonna do it for you. Because once again, this permanent underclass is going to be real. I see it. I see very articulate people who are security guards. I see like amazing people with regular jobs. And see, what they're going to try to do is do it through the government. I think the lady in New York who won the Democratic primary, I think she will be elected. She's a socialist. That ain't going to work. And it ain't going to work because you've seen, once again, these people in the 9.9%, many of us have come from nothing. So, we've charted this path and we've got to a point where we can live life really good. And we ain't trying to hear anything about socialism. And I include myself in it because I am not a Trump supporter, but I am very conservative. I think Trump's a cancer on America. But aside from that, I do have a lot of conservative principles that have helped me get rich. So what's going to happen is you're going to keep playing around. And see, this is the thing that's so sad about this. It's not going to be a slow roll up. It's going to be like, bam, one day you got that $150,000 a year job. Next day you don't. It's just going to be like that. It's not going to be like, hey, we're going to give you a 2-year warning. Ed, you need to get yourself together. No. That ain't happening. That is not happening. So y'all know y'all can super chat because I'm telling you some, and I'm perfectly comfortable with being the early caller. No problem, because usually I'm so far ahead that it looks like nonsense. But if you've watched me for the last 9 years, how many times have I been wrong? I put up these no eBay, no Amazon videos 2-3 years. People are like, oh, he's a hater. He's such a hater. Now all of a sudden, I see all these forums. I actually got out of the forums because there was too much complaining about how Amazon had screwed all these people. But I'm a hater. I saw that coming all day long. But once again. So let's see. Let me get in the chat room real quick. Cam May, don't do a blog. Just save you a lot of trouble right now. If you're going to do something, do a YouTube channel, do a podcast, Instagram account, Facebook group, or some kind of Facebook show. What's up, Be Real? Mo Grizzly? Richard Brandon, what would you do if you were moving to a new city with only $1,600 and had to stay in a boarding house? Dude, I stayed in a boarding house for 2.5 years. Wouldn't recommend it. Honestly, what I would do is I would hustle my face up and get more than $1,600. I would start a service business and make some money where I can stay where I'm at. Thank you, Omar. What's up, Frankie Guns, Prince Diamond? What's up, Michael Dennis? Mo Grizzly, did someone say magic jelly beans? Big Nephew, the system has started already. I want you to think about why Trump is president. let's get away from the petty politics, the name calling. During the greatest economic, the second, this is the longest period of continuous economic expansion in history. But Trump was still voted in office. Stock market was going up. It's higher now. But Trump was voted in office. You know why? Because people in mainstream America are hurting. During this great economic expansion, with the stock market going bananas, people who are outside this 9.9% are catching L's all day long. They're having to make critical decisions. Do I pay my car note this month or do I pay the mortgage? Because I need the car to get to work to get money to pay the mortgage. You got many people who are constantly making these kind of decisions. Do I pay the cable bill or do I pay the electricity? But I need the computer because I use the computer to make. You got people all day making these kind of decisions during the greatest economic expansion. Continuous economic expansion, because we did have recessions in those 40 years after the World War II, but they were very short-lived, and we came out and we went higher. This is going to be a big drop. Erica Williams, what's happening in the Friends group? The degenerate brainwashing in the 90s destroyed many minds. Wow. Amazon Flex. I'm telling you. Let me tell you why I'm not on silver and gold. I have silver and gold, but we're going to crash, right? But we're not going to hit to a shit hits the fan scenario. Only when we get into a shit hits the fan scenario, and then after that happens, gold and silver is not going to get you anything. Gold and silver will come once we establish another barter system. The most important thing is going to be guns, food, and water. All right, Cody Thomas, what's up? Before rap music brainwashing, it's not really rap music. Trump just gave a speech, I think, in Kansas or somewhere. No, it was for the for a group of veterans. And he actually said these words: "Do not believe what you are seeing. We're working on it." The man said, "Don't believe your lying eyes and lying ears. Listen to me." And you know what? People bought it. That means that we have a large mass of Americans that are trained as drones. For someone to come out and say, do not believe what you see, do not believe what you hear, that you know is true. Yes, there are people in Maine losing their business because of these tariffs. Yes, there are farmers who are in trouble because of these tariffs. Matter of fact, I just pulled $12 billion out of nowhere as a payoff so you guys will vote again for us. And one soybean farmer said this 12 billion was like a Band-Aid on a sucking heart wound. We're here because the first thing is you indoctrinate the masses. What's the indoctrination? Go to college and get a degree. We have people right now who are going to wake up tomorrow. They're going to go to someone's online school and sign up and plop down $5,000 to $25,000 per year for this. Even though we have scores of people who are saying this doesn't work. This is how strong the indoctrination is. Justin getting the degrees a waste of time. I'm going to tell you why that happened. What are the best jobs? You have to research that. I've not been in the military in a long time. Sarah, that's not going to happen. Tell them. What's up, Erica Williams? Thanks for the $5 super chat. Tons of clients with 100,000 student loan plus graduate school's loan. If you go to private school, you better get private school. Hook up her husband. It's crazy. All right, Mentor Shelley. Agent J. Poole, a national mega agent, Dolly Lentz out of New York, said the real estate is taking a hit because Chinese are still selling in bulk. Recession is here in RE. And this is why I'm buying. What do you mean, how do I feel about the commercial drone? What are you talking about? Oh, everything's going to take a hit. Air traffic controllers in Dallas are going through this right now. Yeah, they're getting rid of them. You know how it used to be, if you could make it to school and get a job, because an air traffic controller is a federal job. It's like a job for life. Not anymore. Eric Woods, I notice how many women from well-to-do backgrounds are hastily getting married to geeky, good-income guys at my church. It's like a fire under their butt. I'm going to do this on my other channel called The War Amongst Women for Men's with Means. This is some real stuff. I could have been married 8 times already if I wanted to be. There's one chick who calls and like, hey, and she even said, you can have other women. I don't care. I just want that ring. I want the ring in the house in first position. This is what this chick told me. Eric was like 40 women, 30 to 35, got married this year. James S. Average incomes at my church, $8,300K in Austin, Texas. Most are stay-at-home wives. Let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to get in that. They're trying to get into this 9.9%. This is where you're getting it, because since this is a buffer zone, there's protection. Anyone heard of the Koch brothers? Let me show you what kind of protection there is. Hold on a second. All right. These are like some mega billionaires. I think they were like 60 billion. These brothers dropped $216 million. Once again, $216 million to push and develop the Tea Party. Now, why would these billionaires care about politics? It's the buffer zone to get a bunch of people riled up and do the things for them that they need done. This is what they're doing. So the rich people, George Soros, I think he's behind Black Lives Matter. Understand, when you have a group that is well organized, know there's money behind that group. This is why the Hoteps, and I'm not even going to be dismissive of them, they never get anywhere because they don't have anybody with any money behind them. The Tea Party came out of nowhere in a few years, but they had money. They had lieutenants. They had generals. Most of the Hotep type organizations have no money behind them. Not a dime. And that's why they don't work. I talk a lot of stuff about the Hoteps, but the reality is I admire these people because they're like Don Quixote. They tilting at windmills. Because until they get a strong economic push behind them, nothing's going to happen. Because it takes money to fight a war. And if you're going to fight a war, it takes weapons, and you need weapons. And how do you get weapons? You steal them or you buy them. If you steal them, you're going to lose a lot of your soldiers trying to steal them. So if you buy them, you keep your soldiers and you have firepower. We, the United States of America, sell more arms than anybody else on this planet. It is a source of revenue for the government. We're selling rocket launchers, assault, all kinds of stuff. But you're not going to have any organization that has staying power without somebody writing some checks. And I'm talking about big checks. You want to know why the civil rights movement worked? H.E. Gaston, who was a millionaire back then, he was writing checks. M.L. Martin Luther King, people writing checks. Malcolm X, Nation L, everybody was writing checks. This is why these movements got so far and were sustained year after year. The bus boycott, you know how long that boycott went on? 3 years. Because everybody pooled their cars, pooled their resources, pooled their money together. Now, why am I talking about this? Because the 9.9% spends money together. They spend money together. Oh, well, we're going to take our tax dollars back from the rest of the county, and we're going to put it in this county. I live in Sandy Springs, right? There is this brand new multi-billion-dollar city hall complex. This is how much money is in this neighborhood. There's they just built like literally 6 multi-billion-dollar projects on Roswell Road, just outside the perimeter. Why? Because they got that money from the rest of the county. Everywhere I'm going, there's like nice parks. Because Sandy Springs has the unique situation of having, if you want to live in a mansion around here and only have a 15-minute commute to work, done. So that's what you want to do. You don't have to. If you got the money and you live in this neighborhood, you can have a 5 or 10-minute commute to work. And this is what people are doing. All right. Thank you, Frankie. You can go ahead and blog, man. I just gave it to you. I'm not going to go into an explanation. You got Google. You can check it out. I'm just telling you. You are fighting an uphill battle with blogging. Omar Bey, would you recommend on building an online business for those flat broke? Yeah. Any business. Just get started. As I said in the previous video today, you can be real smart. You can be classy. You can look good. Your breath don't stink. But you don't have any experience. So starting a small business and taking 1 to 2 to 3 years to run that business is going to give you all kinds of incredible business skills. But everybody want to go from, I hate my job, to now I'm a business owner. And just forget all this stuff in the middle. I don't have time for that. Miss me with that. The most important part, I don't want no parts of that. It's just like that video I did on Disruptive Male. All these women want to be married, but they ain't interested in being a wife. Many of y'all want to be a business owner, but you're not interested in building a business. You just want the end result. That's it. I'm starting a business so I have more free time. Every time I hear that, I start laughing. That's going to be the last thing you're going to have is free time. Yep, I think we are. But see, this once again, I'm going to keep putting this up here for y'all so y'all can get it. The 9.9%, they going to slide, but let's say you were $5 million and you already had the big house, you got the Porsche. So this economic recession means that you, instead of taking your customary 5 vacations a year, you're only going to take 1 or 2. That's the kind of belt tightening they going to do. During the last recession, they didn't stop building in this neighborhood. They're not going to stop building in this neighborhood because there's more money that has been pulled from the county that's concentrated here. They're going to keep building. What I'm saying is you need to try to get into this 9.9%. That's the launch pad for the millionaires and the billionaires. Very few people go from absolutely nothing to something. I did some research on Zuckerberg. One parent was a doctor, a dentist, I think. I did some research on Bezos. His grandfather was the commissioner of the Atomic Commission. Bill Gates, his father, owned the law firm. The 9.9% is the breeding ground for mega millionaires and billionaires. It is very few people that are going to come from the streets from nothing, a la Jay-Z. He came from the streets. He came from the gutter. He came from nothing. And he's going to hit billionaire status. But Jay-Z's ruthless. That's going to be very, very hard to do. Very hard. So what you do is you get into the 9.9% to give your kids a shot at hitting the big time. Klay Thompson's father, he played in the NBA. Curry's father played in the NBA. And they both gave their sons the genetic talent, the privileged upbringing, the summer league camps for them to leap into the NBA. Nobody, I didn't even start from scratch. Once again, I came to a greater level of understanding, looked at what happened to me. I had a privileged upbringing. I read 4,000 books while in school. That's why I'm so strange. And that's what gave me the juice to skip out of my social economic class. Yep, James. Let me go up. Let's see. He is, C. Senate. He is an amazing salesperson. Omer government medals. Almighty justice. All right. Once again, I'm not going to answer like, hey, get in the IT field, you're going to be safe. And one of the reasons is there's IT, there's the engineering, there's the making of the chips. There's so many sectors of the IT field that you need to research. Google it. Google it. Get into it like you get into these video games. Guarantee you'd be successful. Cosmetic Wisdom just said it. It depends in the IT field. I've been in the industry for 17 years. It's brutal. You have to retool your skills on a constant basis to stay in the game and save your money. Eric, let's just say, if you go into that church for a reason, they got a personal trainer to stay right. The original Lady Pimp, the Koch brothers, low-key run America. I think so, too. You don't have to be the president to run this country. You just have to be rich and smart. What's up, honey bunny? RBG Pride have too much infighting and scam artists. And see, this is one of the things. Like, I've said this before. I live in a neighborhood, and I know there's some of my neighbors who are racist. I know this. But you know what? If that racist had to give me some money to keep what we got going on, they'd do it. They would put their racism aside. I've seen this several times when it comes to money. This is why I'm like, racism ain't our big problem. It's black folks. But people are like, oh, yes, it is. No, it ain't. I have so many experiences where racists, Bobby on the storage auction chair, the chick I worked for at business environments who wanted to come work for me, one neighbor. And once we come down to this, like, oh, Okay. Yes, I'm racist, but helping you is gonna help me. So let's roll up these sleeves and get busy. Come on, man. Grab that log. Let's do this. We got things to do. We got to preserve this 9.9%. They will do that, and I tell people, I'm like, no, they won't. They just rate. I'm like, you ain't been exposed. Oh, I get you, Jim Cal. Cosmic Wilson. That's a good point because what did I just say? There's $5 billion projects in the neighborhood I'm looking for houses. There's Fortune 500 corporations. Like when I did my drone footage that wasn't too far from my office, those Twin Towers, an insurance pension fund owns them. They paid $567 million for them like 16 years ago. Those suckers are worth about $4 billion now. This neighborhood, yeah, it's going to take a little hit. It's going to take some hiccups. And the people who are in here by the skin of their teeth, they're going to get pushed out. And then new people who are going to climb into that 9.9% are going to replace them. Randy, there's shortage of truckers right now in the industry. There's a shortage of truckers in certain industries, and there's a glut of truckers in this in certain industries. I don't know. If I was a betting man, and I am, I would say it's a 50-50 chance because of who we got in office. And that would be the perfect distraction from him. So that's something I don't discount, but I don't think so, and I hope we don't. Justin, we're not going to have a shit. All right. I want you to think what a shit hits the fan scenario encompasses. You turn on your spigot and there's no water. You go to the grocery store, there's no food. A shit hit the fan scenario is very much like Walking Dead. That's why I don't see it happening. Kevin Davis, if you're building businesses, you have no free time. None. Man. Frankie Guns, that's something we'll talk about a little later. I know, Kevin. It cracked me up every time I see it. That's it, Mentor Shelley. Sky. Let's see. Sky Blevin. You write about people wanting the business for more free time. Very common misconception on YouTube. What they really want is a well-paying job that allows for flexible hours. Sky Blevin, I agree with you 100%. Thank you, Erica. He's giving fire today. Like Super Chat, I just attended a couple of masterminds. He's telling the truth about connections, working together, top 20%. This is the thing about Asian people. There's this false presumption that all of them like each other. Some of these people can't stand each other. It don't stop them from spending together. I got one in my office complex right now. He hates his business partner. But when it comes time to write those checks, he writing those checks because he knows that working with this guy he hates is going to make him more money. Stadium, there's facts. There's a lot of talent out there, but the parents can't afford camps or AAU. How many of you know of people? I got like 3 neighbors who kids are in these hockey leagues. You know that shit's like $2,000 a month. Hockey leagues. Because they travel all over the place. I would not wait. And this is why you should not wait. You got to learn the game. And waiting to learn the game. Because, see, what's going to happen is when the economy crashes, the folks with the money are going to beat you. You could be skilled. You got, like, hustle. But you don't have no money. They go like, oh, I can now spend him. I used to do this all day long in the storage auction game. New person come out there, they see some 500, 550. And when they start going 595, I hit them with that 687, they out the frame. So get started now. Carl Snead, the youngest black McDonald's franchise owner that's making all the news feeds. Come to find out her father owns more than 5 McDonald's, but the media don't. I keep telling y'all, these folks are not coming from scratch. They're not. They're just not. That is a pipe dream. And that's something the media always does when it's a female entrepreneur. Katherine Johnson, her father owns one of the biggest. He died, I believe, and he left her this hedge fund. And they talk about her great business acumen. They don't talk about her father built that business for 60 years and gave it to her. You never see that anywhere. It's like I'm a wonder kid. Nobody starts from scratch. This is why you guys got to get on it so you can give your kids a legacy. That's common with women, Carl Snead. I see that all the time. There was some people, I'm not going to mention their name because y'all know, you can easily Google them, but they had his wife on the show because she owns half the company. And I know how this company was built, and he ain't mentioned. It's just like she did this, she did that. He wasn't even in the room for the interview. And he was a little salty. He's like, we built this together. She didn't do this by herself. I said, you know what you need to do? Take a vacation for a month. He took a vacation for a month. Shit started to fall apart. Next interview, his ass was in it. See, some people start feeling their greatness because people keep chatting them up. He was very, very salty about that because she put in a lot of work. He put in a lot of work. But see, he was the salesperson. He taught her how to sell. Thank you, Mentor Shelley. Thank you, Judson. All right. Appreciate you guys for this $5 super chat. Jim, a racist will gladly help people of color cut their grass, fix their AC, etc. It's a real interesting thing. Marlonius, I do businesses with racists every day. What's up, Peter Thompson? Texas is an energy state. The last recession, y'all was still employing people. Could be. Jim McCall. Archangel, same here. Every day I go to different places around Dallas, and my friends are shocked that I went there for clients. Peter Thompson, no. The best thing you could do is actually get into a business and start doing it. That's so funny. I told somebody they knew off the top her family had dough. I mean, it's crazy, man. Josh Barr, but when her husband died, the business died. No. The mutual fund, there's more people running it than her. That's another thing they don't mention. She owns it, but she has some well-skilled people who are who are running it. Michael Gaynor, Forrest was calling Kylie Jenner a self-made businesswoman. I was having this conversation with Tyron. Once again, your father, who was Bruce Jenner, one of the richest athletes in history. Your sister, 100 million followers. I mean, the girl didn't, all she had to do was try. And she would be successful. What's up, Nate's point of view? All right. So with this, how do we get into the top 99.9%? You're going to have to be in that top 10% that graduate college. For those folks, there's a lot of value going to college. You ain't even got to worry about your student loans because most of these jobs you get, you're going to roll off in there and you're going to be doing, 80, 90, 100K. You'll be able to pay off your student loans in 2 or 3 years. So if you're going to do college, you need to be in that top 10% at an elite school. That's one way. Another way is to start a business. And if you got a job, I'm going to hook y'all up. All right, so below, I'm doing a free trial. It's not the whole course, just to let you know. But go down 30 days to 2,500. Get started. See how you like it. And everyone that buys will go on the list, and I will send you an offer. Or you could just go ahead and get the straight bundle, or you could finish watching today's video. I mean, because this is one of the things I've been talking about for a long, long time. You don't look at Kylie Jenner, because when I knew Kylie Jenner had her lip kit, all right, let's keep it real. For anybody to make $100 million, that's tough. That's tight that she did that. She did not just use her fame to be riding around. She put some money out there in the game. Congratulations, Kylie Jenner. But with that said, if you came out with a lip kit, you may not even make $50,000. She was born with a brand name. Name recognition out the ass. So when you're looking to follow someone, look for people and find out what their backstory is. You always want to learn from people who have gone through hell. Those are going to be the more honest lessons. And that's one of the things. So below the video, you can, good Lord, I think I got rid of everything. Pretty much. Okay, cool. So for you folks who come later, I want y'all to hit that super chat PayPal link. And I want everybody to go to the 30 days to 2,500, the free trial. And let's start building some businesses for real. None of this fake stuff. Now, something else, it's not ready yet, but I'm going to start talking to people again. But you must be a business owner. And what I'm going to do this time is vet y'all. I'm going to qualify y'all. And I'll be putting that out probably tomorrow. I just got to get some links together. But we need to be about building businesses. If you're a member of the Facebook groups for men only, we're going to be building businesses. One of the things I've observed is, we have these 4 mandates. First mandate, economics. Second mandate, get your body together. Third mandate, get your spirit together. The fourth mandate is women. Well, we have a lot of people who have placed number 4 as their number 1 priority. And essentially what I do is I just lead those posts. One, I realize we have to recondition people. We have to set expectations. So I'm not kicking anyone out the group because they really don't know. But we're slowly getting to where we need to be, because my goal is everyone that watches this channel, at a minimum, you need a side hustle that makes 4 figures per month at a minimum. That's what you got to do. And that's the things we're going to talk about. And I'm going to give you the backstory in the game, because this new gig economy is like the new slavery, except this time we include white folks and Hispanics and Asians. Because this is how it happens. You go to school, you get that indentured servitude, those student loans. Then you got to do all these crazy jobs to pay these student loans. Because if you default, they're going to take your tax refund. It's like a caste system. It really is one of those things. She had a ton of help, honey bunny. She had a ton of help. All right, I'm getting ready to go. I want you guys to super chat. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this the way that I want it. Make sure that we have these things in place. There we go. So what I want you to do, guys, to do is I'm going to take you out. So y'all can super chat. And y'all can do what you need to do. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Subscribe, comment, and like. And don't forget to super chat.
From the top. Okay. Drop that.